So I want you to think about times and scenarios in your life where you were like, someone came to you and you said yes, whether it be to watching their kids and you have your own kids with you, or doing something while you're at work and you know you got a full plate, or just somebody asking you to do something that you don't want to do, like going to a friend's house or going out and you just end up saying yes. Think about those times. How'd you feel about it? Did you get there and be like, I knew I shouldn't have stayed, man. I should have stayed my behind at the house or whatever it was, right? Did you think in your mind, like, if I say no, it's going to be super uncomfortable. It's going to make this person maybe start crying, or this person is going to get in their feelings, or did it something, triggering you to make you be like, oh, I want to say no, but if I say no, this is going to happen to you. Like, I hate damage control. So I don't say yes. Let me tell you, no is my favorite word. Like, I'm the king of no's, right? But it took me a while to get there. And I just know, what I'm saying to you is because everybody's been there. Everybody's been somewhere where they were like, man, I should have stayed my ass at home, or I should have never done this, right? And it's kind of annoying. Hindsight's 2020. So we're gonna make sure that we don't got that hindsight 2020. Like, we're gonna make the word no a priority in our life, because you got to. If you want to be the best version of yourself, you got to learn how to say no, because saying no is going to basically give you back control of your life, control of your time, which will allow you to do what it is you want to do with your friends, family, decrease your stress, decrease your overwhelm. Because here you are saying yes, maybe it's something with work, or maybe it's something with, I don't want to say kids because that could be helpful, but maybe it's something with work. Here you go, somebody give you their work, but then you look up and they're on Instagram. They're at Six Flags or at a game or doing something, and you over here stressed out and you overwhelmed. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. So the reason why you got to learn how to say no, or why people have a hard time saying no, because like anything, all we talk about on this channel is developing skills and resources to allow you to be able to do certain things and live the life that you want to on your own terms. So being able to say no is hard for people because they haven't built up that muscle yet to be able to say no. So you got to build up a tolerance for being in uncomfortable situations for one, but you got to build up the muscle of being like, no, I'm good, right? And so, with me, I can say no and just be like, no, I'm not doing it. A lot of people can't do that, and that's what we want you to get. But if you're not that point yet, you got to be like, no, and then here's a reason on why you say no. The first thing that you got to do, with being able to say no, like I said before, you'll be able to take back control of your life. So the first thing that you want to do, you want to make a list of tasks, projects, or even people that you need to start saying no to. Even social media. I know people love social media. You know me, I'm not a fan. So you got to put this on your list too. So go ahead and write down a list of people and projects that you have to do and that you have to say no to. And with doing that, you're going to see, more and more things start to open up for you. While you're writing it down, we all have busy lives, right? It's just like, at some point, with you always saying yes, there becomes an expectation placed on you by people because you always say yes. And the moment you say no, that changes everything. It's like a person that you always gave money to. Eventually, when you say no, that person tends to disappear. You know what I mean? Like I always say, if there's people in a relationship, not even any kind of sexual or anything like that, there's always got to be some benefit for people in a relationship, whether it be the time that you give that person going to the gym, giving them money, there's got to be some benefit. So once you start saying no, if it's not a true friend, then you'll start to see that relationship change, right? So the expectations is there for you to always say yes. So now that you've written down that list, I want you to prioritize that list even further by setting boundaries on your resources, such as time, energy, and money, because that will allow you to be able to process saying no so much easier, because now you have rules and boundaries around the reason why you're saying no. So when that person asks you that question, now you can be like, boom, based on the boundaries and the rules that I've already created that you're now creating right now, you can say no with confidence and it won't be like, nah, I can't do it. You can be like, no, I can't. And then if you want to be that person and say, no, I can't do it because of this and this and this, you can go through, your resource list and be like, nah, I can't give you the money because based on my boundaries, which could be, I can only give money to someone after I paid all my bills or after I have 5,000 saved up in the bank, right? That could be your boundary around that. Or if somebody's like, oh, what about time? I can only come hang out with you for 30 minutes because I got to go do this, or not today because I got to spend 2 hours with my son or my daughter or whatever the case is, or I got to go to the movies with my significant other, whatever it is. So now you have that reason to be like, nah, because we're doing this. Even though, again, I don't want you to do that. I want you to be like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to do it. But for right now, you have the ability to be able to pull from that resource when you give your explanation until you build up your muscle. So this is kind of why I want you to prioritize and set boundaries around that. So once that person comes to you, you can say, hey, let me call you back in 30 minutes, or let me get back to you tomorrow and I can give you an answer if I can do whatever it is. That'll even give them, okay, this person's considering whatever I asked them, right? Versus you just saying no, right? That's a whole nother level of confidence, right? That you got to get to where you're just comfortable being like, all right, I don't care, right? It doesn't really matter. But for now, you'll be able to just be like, let me call you back. And then you call back and then give them your answer. And then it'll feel like a more informed decision. And I would say I do this sometimes. Like if it's somebody that I'm really cool with, that I have a relationship with, I'll say no because of this or that. Or if it's a person I'm trying to get into business with, I'll say no because of this or that, right? You kind of want to still keep that as an option. But if it's like one of my friends, like, hey, let's go over somebody's house so we can watch the game, I'm just going to flat out say no. They can be like, oh, come on, man, let's go. I'm like, no, I don't want to go. Or no. And then that's it, right? And you could just want to sit on your couch and watch TV, or binge watch whatever it is. So, you don't want to say no and then tell them because you want to binge watch TV, because that's going to turn into more of another conversation. I'm like, oh man, you just like, I don't got time for that, right? Just say no and then that's it. And you don't have to have further conversations. So that's why I'm saying I want you all to get to the point of where you can just say no, so you don't have to keep having additional conversations about it. And then you don't even like, if they're texting you, you're just so comfortable in your own skin, like you're just gonna let them keep texting and or whatever. You're just gonna hang up the phone and go on about your day. And then what's also going to happen is, because this person that you're dealing with, the expectation is not going to be yes, it's going to be no. So whenever you say yes, it's going to be like, oh shoot, such and such coming to hang out, or this person said yes. It's going to be a completely different shift in the appreciation of your time, of whatever resource it is, by you being the person that always says no. It's like somebody, I was talking to my son about cursing. I don't really curse as much as I used to, because I remember at some point cursing was just like whatever. So now if I curse, depending on how I curse, it's like, oh snap, like what happened? I think I started cursing a little bit more in the last couple of years, but at one point I just slowed up on cursing. So then when I cursed, it was so much more impactful because it was something that I don't normally do. So that's how my yeses are. My yeses are like, oh snap, Andre said yeah. Oh, it must be a full moon or something like that. That's kind of how you want to get to. That goes to my number 3. Expect to see and hear disappointment in their voice or the look in their face when you say no. I'm so comfortable looking at people in their face when I say no and not caring whatever it is, because it's going against my values at that point. It's going against what makes sense for me. So I can care less what it does to that person, because I'm more important at the end of the day than anybody on this earth. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, as it should be for everybody else. So just be cool, be comfortable in the uncomfortable when you start saying no, because it's gonna make a lot of people feel a certain type of way, especially if you've been a yes man. Like, so just be ready to be comfortable with being able to see that and go through that journey that you're gonna have to go through. So now that you understand, like, expect disappointment and all that kind of stuff when you start building out this muscle, is cool. It's good for you, but you honestly don't need to give a reason on why you're saying no. And it's really, in my opinion, it's unfair for the other person to expect for you to give them an answer on why you're saying no. It's just like anything else. Like, everybody's entitled to their own opinion and to do whatever they want to do. So again, if you follow these 3 steps, make a list of tasks or people that you need to prioritize saying no to, prioritize that list. And then number 3, expect the disappointment. And this will allow you to move through this process of practicing no so much easier. And it's also going to just give you so much freedom, so much more control of your life. You're going to basically feel like you're buying back time. And then you're going to start to see your financial future should change. Your freedom should change, because you're giving yourself more time to focus on, whether it be a real estate, a business, spending more time with your kids, your significant other. Your life is just going to be more enriched by you saying no to certain things, because now you're just being able to build upon yourself and put more into yourself. And that's kind of what the goal is, right? Practicing saying no. And now back to what I said initially, you can see how the hidden truth behind saying yes all the time could be detrimental to whatever else you're trying to achieve in life because you're so busy doing things for other people. And that's kind of what I want you to see. You have to practice saying no, because now your life will surely change because you'll have so much more time to allocate to yourself. Remember that you decide how you spend your time, energy, and resources, not other people. So good luck saying no.